Okay, let me welcome you, those of you here, and those who are watching, to our Selectmen's meeting for this evening, Tuesday, July 14, 2015. The board met in executive session starting at 6 p.m. this evening to discuss two matters, one involving a collective bargaining matter, and the second pertaining to contractual negotiation. And we have just left executive session, and we'll move now into the public portion of our meeting. At the outset of the meeting, I also want to note that Selectman Gay is not with us this evening. He will not be attending the meeting for personal reasons, and will be back with us when we meet in a few weeks. As we always do at the beginning of our meeting, I'd like to invite everyone to please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we have a few items to move through this evening. The first item that we wanted to talk about is we had extended an invitation to representatives from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, I believe the Highway Department, and also I think the contracted party who is going to actually be involved with conducting the work on the first leg of our effort to improve Route 38. So specifically the discussion this evening pertains to a short stretch of roadway from the Lowell line up to, is it Pike Street? Do I have that right? Mm-hmm. And we wanted to get an update on that, and as we're about to enter into the construction phase, I believe, we want to see where things are at, so people will be well informed as to what expectations should be. So I know there are representatives here. I'd invite you to come forward and sit at the table. Good evening. We appreciate you coming out here on a Tuesday night. Maybe the first, or at least one of the first of probably many times you'll be here in Tewksbury. So welcome, and if you could introduce yourselves, we'd appreciate it. What's that?
I'm already in Tewksbury a few different times.
Right.
My name is Mark Fidelli. Mass Department of Transportation Area Supervisor for Construction. I'm up in the area of West area.
Thank you.
And Norman Saucier, I'm Project Manager for Brox Industries.
Great. Based in
Methuen? Out of Drake.
Drake? Okay, great. Thank you, and welcome to you both. So you heard my intro, so I'm going to turn it over to you. If you can just give us a little bit of an update of where you stand and
what basic things that the scope of the work we have, which we just pretty much described, is a full width milling from the Lowell Tewksbury town line to just south of the Pike Street Veranda intersection. The length of the project is shy of 1 mile. It includes 2 lifts of hot mix asphalt, drainage improvements, minor curb and sidewalk work, bridge repairs and upgrades on the deck to the Shockey Memorial, I believe it's a Shockey, right by Walnut, over the railroad deck. Yeah. New pavement markings, loop detectors at the intersections, the normal course of work. Bid price for this project is $1.64 million. We have a completion date of June 15th, 2016, which we are very confident that we're going to basically finish this job this fall. It's not a big job in our opinion. Norm and I were talking before this meeting, and I wrote it a few times, just getting to the meeting here tonight. And
you still have shots?
I don't see. No, yeah, it's a tough shape, but we don't see anything really outstanding that's going to prevent us from getting a lot of work done in the next couple of months.
Great.
We had some contract mandated work hours of between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daytime, but in lieu of the amount of businesses along the stretch and the amount of traffic we see, Brox Industries has requested from Mass DOT a variance to those hours, and we're granting those variances to basically 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. for a good portion of the work, which is the milling, the paving, the heavy lifting part of it. Makes it very quick than trying to fight traffic daytime. We can get a lot more done, and in that manner, businesses won't be impacted as much. We will still have some daytime work, don't get me wrong, the sidewalks, some of the minor stuff, but nothing the heavy lifting during the daytime. So we're exploring that now. We've been talking a few times this week about getting started. We're still a few weeks out from really gearing up and getting rolling.
Great.
You want to speak to a little bit more?
Yeah, within the next couple of weeks, well, the sign package will be getting set up, and erosion control will be put out there. We're kind of looking towards the end of July to start with the milling operation.
Yeah.
We'll send a notice out probably through Mass Highway so that, and again, if it is possible to work it at nighttime, I think that's the best thing, especially with the big businesses.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do a little coordination with Aggregate Industries, who is working up on the main highway.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll take care of that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. We have to do it all the time.
Yeah.
And again, I don't see any surprises out here. It should go rather quickly.
Okay, terrific. How do you notify the businesses that are on that 1 mile stretch? Is there any kind of effort to
We would
educate them?
recommend using the DOT websites, and that's probably the best way. We don't have the resources to hit each individual business up and down the
Gotcha.
stretch.
Yeah.
Recommend going to the DOT website, popping in the town, they'll come up with a specific job location or a number and going from there.
Yeah.
We tend to post internally, we do a roadway work notification form, which is basically our internal form to show where jobs are working, so we're not overlapping and running into each other. Those, I believe, if not wrong, they post them, or updates per se on the websites pertaining to each one of those advisories. Can't say it's updated every day, but if you guys have any, and I think we spoke to the police anyways about some reverse 911 in town if that's available, where I could speak with the chief and see if they could use something along those lines of, hey, we're gonna be out here for the next few weeks at night.
We have a code red system.
It's code red, okay. Whatever works to get the word out, but for the most part, they're mobile operations, and what I mean by that is we be milling and we just keep going. It's not like we're blocking off entrances for hours at a time. Same thing with the paving operations, although it takes a little longer to make sure we have the proper compactions. So.
Great.
But it's not like we close down roads for days at a stretch. It's, hopefully by the time they wake up in the morning, we're past their entrance. We're good to go.
So before I turn to my colleagues and ask if they have questions, I just have one other one. You mentioned a little bit of curbing. So one of the things that's important to us is we're trying to look at the entire stretch of Route 38, and we're trying really hard to find ways to improve both the functionality, but also some of the aesthetics. So things like curbing is really important to us, especially when you're going to undertake this kind of work. So off the top of my head, I think most of that section is already granite curbed.
That's correct.
If there are areas that don't have that, is there a plan to finish those spots off? Or?
For the most part, and if I'm not mistaken, we typically do a handicap ramp. We will replace those areas with granite curbing.
Okay.
Just makes it easier for a whole lot of grades and get it to the ADA requirements. I'm not sure if we have good quantities on top of your head.
No, there are a number of wheelchair ramps, near 20 to be done throughout the whole project.
Yeah.
And I believe we're reconstructing some of the walkways with asphalt.
Okay.
But wherever there are crosswalks or anyways that ADA ramp should be,
Yeah.
they're going to be
You
put in.
Yeah, and you just did many of them throughout the other stretch here.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let me see if my colleagues, Mr. Wemple.
Yeah, just two quick questions. Does the DOT have some electronic signs?
They will be going up.
Okay, good, because those are
Yeah.
the people that are gonna be on that road, they're gonna see that every day.
There'll be one at each end of the limits, a little before the limits of each job.
Okay.
Basically saying to start, we tried to go a couple of weeks ahead of time to get them out there, start work, certain date. We tend to say, please choose caution. I'm trying to think if we want to throw something up near the ramps from 495 to this area. If we have some room out there, we have some extra boards available.
Yeah.
Might be something to throw on those off ramps as you lead to 38 also. But yeah, they'll be going up for sure.
Great. Yeah, because, as much as I appreciate the fact that it's gonna be on the DOT website, I don't know how many
clear.
residents are gonna go to the DOT
Yeah,
website.
I'll work with the chief and Kevin Hardeman. I work with him on a couple of jobs. We will find a location that's not obtrusive to
Perfect.
anybody and get into a parking lot somewhere.
And then I'm assuming it's Sunday at 8 PM
Correct.
through Thursday.
Friday morning.
Friday morning.
Yeah, so Friday and Saturday, it's clear.
Pretty much, there may be a reason or a need, and that's by a case-by-case basis. He'll come to us and ask, can we work
Yeah,
this
that's
Friday
fine,
night?
but
And then
it's-
I'd end up checking with the representatives and find out if that's a problem. But yeah, for the most part, Sunday through Thursday night, Friday morning.
And I may have missed this, I was jotting things down. You're looking to be finished with that by June 15th, 2016?
That is the official completion date.
Starting in July of this,
Correct.
starting very soon.
Correct, yeah, that's
Okay,
correct.
great, that's all I have. Thank you.
Gentlemen? No? Mr. Crowley?
Yes, I got a couple of things. Have you determined what side you're gonna begin on? Are you gonna begin on the Lowell Town Line, or are you gonna be getting up at Pike Street? Is that been
Come this
determined?
way, right?
We'll start from the Lowell Town Line and head towards Pike Street.
Okay. And once again, as you talked about the handicap ramps, all the handicap ramps in town have all been done over prior to this project. So once this project is completed, the length of 38 from town line to town line will have all brand new handicap ramps that are going through there. So a lot of these sidewalks and a lot of the islands that currently don't even have handicap ramps where you're walking through. I know there's a number of them down by Walmart
Yes.
where there's a crosswalk there, but if you're handicap accessible, they're not right at this point.
That's right.
So those are all gonna be upgraded. The island down there by, where I'm trying to think of what it's. Wamisit Indian, I know there's gonna be some redesign there. Once again, I know that's a little bit more of an upgrade than just the resurfacing, but there's gonna be something done with that intersection there.
I'd have to look, I didn't see anything on it. The only thing we're doing down there, we're adding a couple of catch basins and drainage on Pike Street. But I didn't think we were doing
Yeah,
any
I
real
didn't-
widening.
Are
I
you
could
going
be
right
wrong.
up to Pike Street? Right up to Pike
We
Street?
go past Pike
Past
Street
Pike.
to there's a visible joint in the road you can see between old and new pavement that will
Okay.
be matching that joint there. We do have some work that leads down, is it Old Pike Street?
Yeah, it's on the other side, yeah.
I have a little bit of milling and paving down Old Pike Street. I guess it's in front of the restaurant that's right on the corner there.
Yeah, on the right side of the road.
Right, we're gonna take care
That
of
floods
that.
out a lot. Yeah.
And then that's about the extent of those repairs.
No, that's gonna be continuing off the 38 though. I know that area is in rough condition. And looking at the plans, I believe that we're extending off into that area. That we're gonna be doing a little bit of work that's coming up and down that, it's almost like a ramp where you're coming off of the it's 38 and you're going on to, trying to get the name of the road that's
Old
there.
Pike Street.
Old Pike
Old
Street.
Pike Street, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a small amount of work on Old Pike Street. It looks like it covers just north of the restaurant on the Hacienda.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it
Great.
just goes up to that point of Old Main Street. Looks like we have some sidewalk work in the area for sure. New ramps, yeah.
Okay. And the last thing I have is the bridge work. You'll be doing, once again, that bridge is in horrible condition as it is right now. You drive down that ramp and you're bouncing down that hill. So is there gonna be any weekend closures with when you have trains going underneath and those types of things? I just didn't know if any of that would have to be done on the weekends.
We would need to get the B&M Railroad, that's what's B&M Railroad involved,
Yeah,
Iron Horse Park, right?
Yeah, yes.
So we'll need flaggers out there, we will have a safety meeting out there, but I don't believe, I just need to see if it's shielded. If it is already shielded, then that wouldn't require any weekend closures. We could mill right through that area, do our deck repairs, you know. For the most part, him and I were looking at it this afternoon, looks like it's to the right edge for the most part, that's where the tough spots are. We've seen worse, so.
What,
This is the first time that 38's been resurfaced that we can see out there in over 20 years. So everyone's very excited that this portion is gonna be done over in this
I
area.
think people were very happy once we're
Yeah.
all said and done with it.
Once again, our whole plan is to eventually go from town line to town line, and this is the first step of that, and so
Okay.
we're very excited that this is gonna be the first step to move on.
One small mile.
Take it as it comes.
When it's necessary.
.937 miles.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. All right, well, I want to thank you both for coming in to give us a real-time update. I'll extend on behalf of my colleagues certainly an open invitation. If any circumstances change, you run into a problem that you feel warrants our attention, from an informational perspective, we'd ask you to reach out.
Okay.
You can come back and update us on that. In the meantime, if there's anything you need from the town to help expedite and facilitate, it sounds like you have good communication
Yeah.
already, but
Kevin,
the town
the chief,
manager's
been very good to
available.
us,
And,
and-
yeah, so our engineering staff and public works and public safety, you know, they're standing by to do what they need to do.
I
So
think we'll be all right.
we
Yeah,
appreciate it.
I just have one last thing if I could bring up. I know with a number of these projects, you give like bi-weekly updates. I'm sure on a resurfacing like this, we don't need something to that extent. But would there be a possibility of getting like a monthly update or something like that?
Sure.
Where you're progressing, so that we can put it on our town website to let the businesses and the residents know how it's progressing and where we are as it moves along?
That's fine.
That'd be nice.
If you can do that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very
okay?
much.
Have a nice one.
Appreciate it. All right, we have another matter related to the Disabled American Veterans Club, and I want to invite, if there's a representative of the club to join us. This is a twofold request that the board is being asked to consider. First, a change of manager request for the facility, and then also to accept a notification of the change or update of the officers and directors of the facility. So first, sir, let me welcome you. I'm going to guess that you must be Richard Barry.
Thomas Barry.
I'm sorry, Thomas.
Richard's my middle name.
There's a typo in here.
That's okay.
It says Richard over here.
That's all right, yeah.
All right, the application correctly says Thomas, I apologize. So welcome, and can you tell us just a little bit about your background in the management of an operation like this?
Okay, well, I'm a retired Sergeant Major of the United States Army Paratroopers, 36 years of faithful, honorable service to our great nation.
Thank you.
I'm also a retired Massachusetts State Trooper. As a Sergeant Major, I've supervised many people through my career. I've been the bar manager now since June, I think it was, May, taking over. It's a small operation. We have the local Veterans Club. We try to donate. It's a non-profit, so we donate almost all our money to veterans charities,
Sure.
not only to the town, but the other towns around, surrounding areas. We're trying to stay in business, keep the operation running so we can continue to help our veterans that need support. And that's what we're aiming to do, and we're striving to do that.
Well, as I read through the materials that we were provided, I did take note of your prior experience as a state trooper. So I thought that was a unique combination of skills to manage a facility like this. So thank you for pointing that out again. Anyone have questions of Mr. Barry relative to his qualifications? Okay, so let me take this in a twofold vote, if there's no further questions. And I'll ask if there's any motion to approve the change of manager that's been requested by the Disabled American Veterans.
So moved. Second.
All right, so we have a motion made and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the chair will vote aye as well, so that will make that unanimous. And then, as I mentioned, the second aspect of this application, I know Helen Chambers from our office has been working tirelessly with a number of organizations to update the directors and officers of each of these organizations. And as you see in the materials, there is an updated list of officers. Dan Murdoch is the commander Robert Minor is the Senior Vice Commander, Vincent Calora is the Junior Vice Commander, Patrick Morrison is the Secretary and Treasurer of this particular Tewksbury organization. And that documentation will be filed with the Commonwealth as well as here locally. So I'd like to ask for a motion to accept that change and report of new officers and directors for the record.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair votes aye as well, so that will make that unanimous. So I want to thank you, sir, for joining us tonight. Welcome to your position, and we wish you well, and those of your fellow members at the facility and your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that's going to bring us to 7:26. We have a matter scheduled at 7:30, and just as a courtesy to anyone who might be paying attention, I'm going to ask for patience of those involved till we get to 7:30. In the meantime, I'm just going to cover a couple things on the agenda while we have a few minutes and see if we can make some headway on a few other things. Are there any residents who have any specific items they wish to bring to our attention tonight? And I don't see anybody, so I'm going to cross that off my list. I'm going to have my colleagues turn their attention to item number 7 under new business, which is a request by St. William's Conference of the St. Vincent de Paul Society. They are requesting approval from the town to host a 5K walk on September 26, 2015, here in town, and I believe the event itself is called Friends of the Poor Walk/Run, and will be held, as I said, or hosted by the Society of St. Vincent de Paul through St. William's Church on September 26th. That particular request has already been reviewed by our public safety officer through the police department, Officer Welch, and the route, and also reviewed by our fire safety professionals, all who have indicated they have no concerns with the request. And I believe the intention of our police department is to provide an officer at a particular intersection just to monitor traffic as this particular event has taken place in Tewksbury in the past, and they didn't feel it was necessary to close any roads out or anything like that. So they're seeking approval again, and I'd like to ask if there's any questions. If not, I would ask for a motion to authorize that road race.
I'll make a motion to approve the St. William's Conference road race.
Thank you.
As presented.
Second.
Do we have a second? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. I'm going to come back to the topic of appointments in a couple of minutes, just because I know that will probably take a little more than 60 seconds or so. Let's move to the subject of outstanding minutes and turn to our clerk if you're prepared to do so.
Yes, I am. We've, a copy of the minutes have been distributed for the June 9th regular and executive session, and also the June 23rd regular session, and I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or lacking questions? Is there a second to the motion made?
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion made and a second to approve the minutes of June 9, 2015, both regular and executive session minutes, and also to approve the June 23, 2015 regular session minutes. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The chair will vote aye as well. I'm going to take one more item and turn to the town manager, if you don't mind, sir. We'll kind of cut your report into two parts, but Do you want to speak to the regional dispatch or the town meeting?
I'll do the town meeting.
Okay.
It's that time of year that we need to set the date for a special town meeting in October, which I'm asking the board to set the date of October 6th, which is a Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. at the high school. And then once that date is set, I'll ask the board to open and set the date for closing the warrant.
Okay, if there are no objections, I'd entertain a motion to call for the town meeting, special town meeting on October 6th at 7 p.m. at the high school.
Someone? Second.
There's a motion made in the second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair will vote aye. That would be unanimous.
And then I'd ask the board to open the warrant for a special town meeting starting tomorrow, which is July 15th, and closing the warrant on August 21st at 4:30, which is a Friday, which will give us enough time to finalize developing the warrant and posting.
Okay. Any questions or comment? If not, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to open the warrant for the special town meeting tomorrow, July 15th, to close at 4:30 p.m. on August 21st.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair will vote aye as well. That would be unanimous. And if you don't mind, Mr. Monterey, I'll come back to you in a little bit. We'll go back to those other outstanding items. So I did my best to get us to 7:30. I ran over a little bit, but let me invite representatives of the Rail Trails organization to come forward. And we'll talk to you about an update.
Mind you.
That's all right.
Projects and
Well,
stuff.
yeah, we kind of used to it.
I know you are.
Blinding lights. So while we're waiting for that to fire up, we obviously know who everyone is at the
Yeah.
table, but just for the benefit of those who might be watching or folks behind you who take notes, could I ask you each to just introduce yourselves for the record?
Sure. Pete Miller, co-founder of Tewksbury Rail Trails.
Thank you. Welcome.
Jane Miller, co-founder.
Paige Imping, member. Sandra Cantwell,
Thank you.
member.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you have some other members, but they're not here this evening. We need to
How many
inundate-
members do you have in the organization now?
We have
We have 8 board members.
8 board members.
Great. Super. Excellent. Okay. So I think we can see that now, so I'll turn it over to you. You want to give us a little bit of an update on where you're at?
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having us here tonight. It is our sincere pleasure to formally present to you tonight the completed rail trail feasibility study. And we're here to give you a high-level overview of it. It was posted on the town website, thanks to the town manager earlier today. So it's available for everyone online. And I first want to start by saying not only thank you to you gentlemen here, but also your former colleagues who supported us, in addition to the several other boards in town. I would specifically like to thank Nancy Reed from the Community Preservation Committee, her committee as well, and the other boards, the health department, that have supported us in our efforts to get this feasibility study up and running and completed.
I'm going to take you through a presentation. This is at a 10,000-foot view. I anticipate it'll take 20 minutes or so. We can skip ahead. The slides will be made available on either the town website and to the press as well following the meeting. So just to let folks know, this has been a 2.5-year process. We formed in December of 2012. May 2013, town meeting voted CPA funds in the amount of $35,000 to fund this study. In September 2014, so we went We then developed the RFP, it took some time. And so we also started the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee during that period, which we did through a grant with MAPC. At any rate, we partnered with FST in September of 2014, and they began working here in town. This photo on the slide is from our open house at the high school. It was during a snowstorm, and we had a tremendous turnout that evening, about 90 people. Anybody who's done a charrette in town during a snowstorm knows it's a really good turnout. And then in March, we also had a public information meeting. And in between that period, FST and members of Tewksbury Rail Trails met with a number of key abutters in town and employees with the district. So the police department, the planning board, Steve Sadwick in the community development office. So to kind of get all of the concerns. FST is the company that we partnered with. They're full, as you can see, a full-service, multidisciplinary firm. They've worked on the National River Trail, the Cape Cod Rail Trail. As you can see, over 500 miles of trails there. An outstanding partner. We found them very responsive and great to work with. So I think we did a great job there. And you can move forward.